we'll get into the training. My name's Dan Calley. I've worked for partnerCo for over 25 years now, in different roles with the company. A lot of those roles being from the sales and service side, which is where I got my start. Spent a couple of years learning the commission side of our business about 20 years ago. Traveled around the country in the United States working with distributors, doing meetings, presentations, trainings, all of the things that you do kneecap to kneecap, as the industry will say. Came back to the commission side of the company about 3 years ago, and it's been my pleasure to serve the role as commissions, the vice president of global commissions for partnerCo. One of the things that we get to do here at the commissions team is we get to calculate the commissions every single week and ensure that it's paid out on time, correctly, and into your bank account as fast as we can. So we do this every single week. Tomorrow we're going to calculate week 27 commissions. So today's a good day for me to actually pause and do a little bit of training on our different commission plans. partnerCo's commission plan is, let me see if I can get the slides to move. Nah, my slides aren't. Let's see if we can, there we go. You're gonna work for me. Okay, we got this. Okay. We're gonna talk today about some ins and outs of the compensation plan for our Plan C markets.
Dan, we can't see your screen.
Now you can't see it?
No.
All right, let's do this again. How about now?
Yep.
That's better. All right. Okay, now it's working. All right, so we'll talk. We're going to go through and talk about the ins and outs of the plan. partnerCo really does have a very generous compensation plan. It's the most rewarding and highest paying in the industry. We're going to talk about some cool features to that plan today, things that make it unique, things that make it very exciting to talk about for any market that you're in. One of the things that we have done here at our company is in order to be able to expand and grow into at-large markets, at-large meaning not our biggest markets that we're in as a company, but we're starting to just have a beachfront into some of these markets, was an approach using a Plan C or a tiered approach to our compensation plan. So we have a Plan A, a Plan B, and a Plan C. Today we'll talk a little bit more about the Plan C plan. Talk about some of the ins and outs of it and how it works. Okay, I'm going to go through this, and Anthony, maybe I'll ask you to just be my helper and monitor the chat. I don't multitask really well. In fact, it's probably about all I can do to just get the slides working, as you guys have kind of seen already so far in this presentation. So if you could just monitor the chat, if anybody has a question. This is a very I'm easily interrupted, and I would love to stop at any moment and answer any questions that I can. I tend to just flow right through from one slide to the next, but feel free to interrupt me at any time with questions. But I don't tend to monitor the chat very well as I do these conversations. The second thing is we're going to go through some slides that are very basic. Starting from like day one with your experience with our company as far as getting enrolled to some of the more intricate part of our compensation plan. I will give this disclaimer that these slides are kind of retrofitted to have this conversation for Plan C, even though the original part of this presentation was really created for our Plan A market. So I've kind of gone through and changed some things. I didn't have time last week, being a holiday week here in the United States, to do some cool graphics. So you'll notice the stylistic differences that I've added into the training. So I apologize for that, but we need to upgrade or update some of our graphics to really clean this up. But for the sake of our conversation, I think it'll suffice. So when you enroll as a brand partner, a couple of things. We'll talk about some of your first couple of steps. The first thing that you want to do is you want to activate your income position. Holy smokes, is that a lot of products on that screen? We have amazing products here at partnerCo, a lot of different varieties for you to access into. You can activate your income position with any one of our many different product lines that we offer. So first things first is to activate your income position. Two, the second step is we want you to download some of our apps so that you can have a little bit more of a, like, tools are part of the experience that make it go faster. Get the apps, download them. They have videos, trainings, things that you can share. Also, they have some tech pieces that help you with retailing out your products. So I definitely encourage people to get their apps downloaded as soon as possible. Step 3, after you've activated your income position, you want to start to work on creating a customer base so that you can start selling your products to your customers. It's hard to be in business without a purchasing consumer base. Otherwise, you're really just your own customer, and it's hard to be successful in a network marketing organization without people to talk to and people to sell products and services to. All right, so those 3 basic ones kind of lead us to the next, the bulk of our conversation for the first part of our presentation, and that is achieving a business level. Now, this is where our Plan C market, for some of you on the call, you live in markets that are in the Plan A. So this would be our first divergence from what separates Plan A from Plan C, and that is the business levels. Now, business levels come into play with helping you to really set yourself up for growth and experiencing the full benefits of the compensation plan. You can come into a business with partnerCo at any different speed. What's nice about our compensation plan is it really does lend itself well to tailor making an experience for your business drive or business competency. Some people will come into the business and they just want to dip their toe into the water because maybe this is their first time doing network marketing. Other people just they're jumping straight into the deep end of the pool and they're ready to go and attack this thing with full enthusiasm and force. For us as a company, we want to support you with where you're at. We want to meet you with where you're at. So you can come in as a basic member level, or you can come in right out the gate with Ultimate. It's entirely up to you. Some people, and I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself, but some people will approach this business level activation differently. Some people will just say, hey, I'm coming into business and I'm ready to invest and I'm ready to get going, fully positioned, fully invested it to be able to get the most return out of my time and investment. Other people will say, oh, well, gosh, that's a little steep for me. Times are a little bit tight. I do see the value of the business, but I got to start in a little bit slower and I'm going to work my way up to the business level. All of those are perfectly good options for you. If no matter where you're at, you tell us what your ability to launch your business at, and we have different levels for you to come in at. Obviously, the higher the business level, and we'll show you some slides in just a second, the more positioned you're going to be coming into business. Okay. Now, your business level is determined by the volume you accumulate in your first 4 Fridays with us. And you can get the volume points either by your own personal purchases. So you can just come in and invest and get all of your 200 points and get to Ultimate by yourself. Or if you want to sell products to customers, which I highly encourage that you do anyway, because that was step 3, right? You can come in and sell products to customers, and those customer purchases can help accumulate your business level requirement. Okay, so you can do either or. Now, another another unique thing about our comp plan C market, or a commission plan C, is that your minimum purchase requirement is lower than in the plan A market. So every 4 weeks, your minimum sales threshold is 20 PV. That keeps you commission eligible for the next 4 weeks when you purchase that 20 PV. So in our other markets, it's 100 PV, but in Plan C, it's 20. So that would be, to stay in business, to stay commission eligible, you have to maintain 20 PV of any one of our amazing good products. Now, get into a little bit of the nerdy stuff. So, okay, I'm a commissions guy. I'm more nerdy than I am salesy at this point in my life. Okay, let's be honest. I was always really nerdy, but this really starts to get into where I love the nerdy side of our compensation plan and our conversation. First and foremost, partnerCo's compensation plan is a weekly plan. I want to give just a quick nod or a pause to kind of how incredible that actually is. And this was reminded to me a couple weeks back. We have a brand new CFO, Chief Financial Officer with our company. Great guy, Shane Ware. You get a chance to meet him at some of our upcoming events. He's incredible. He comes to us with industry experience. In fact, he was at a very successful network marketing company here in Utah that he came to us from. And that company, I actually thought that they have something called they pay out commissions daily. And so when he came to our company, I thought, oh my gosh, I feel like we're paying out super fast already. And he's coming to us from a company that pays out daily. This is going to be like, oh, I just had so much anxiety about that. When he sat down with me the first time we met and talked, I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, well, really that company was a monthly commission plan. Just a small aspect of their plan would they kick out daily. It was very small and insignificant. When he heard how I explained how we're doing things here, he was blown away and said, oh my gosh, that is so crazy that you guys are paying out the entirety of the plan every single week. Like, in fact, his first question was, is there a way to like slow that down and bring that back monthly? And I said, no, that's not going to happen. So when I give you kind of that backstory to just make this point that being a weekly plan and paying out the entirety of the plan every single week, it's fast. Like, that's really, really fast. And even companies that may say that they have faster gimmicks to their plan, they're not really that fast. So paying out every single Friday is a big, big deal. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, to the commission week, the qualification period for your commissions starts on Saturday, starts at midnight on Saturday, and ends 11:59 on the following Friday night. Okay, so that's our calendar week. And that's the time period you have to get your volume in to earn your check for the following week's pay. All right. Now, subscriptions run on Saturday. So Saturday at midnight, or 12 a.m., I guess Saturday morning, is when we start to run subscriptions for each week. Excuse me. So that's when subscriptions run. Now, from a commission standpoint, we give you a little bit of leniency from Friday night when the period closes to the following Monday to kind of shore up some volume if you need to, if you need a little bit extra time to just shore up positions and whatnot, which is very common practice in the industry. We allow for that. And so we allow for that all the way through Monday. Monday it cuts off, and Tuesday, here in the United States, our Tuesday, we start to calculate the commissions, test it, run it again, test it again, and then get it out the door for you to hit your account hopefully by Friday, and I think it's doing very, very consistently. So we do that every single week, and it's really fast and it's really awesome. What I will say though, that's nice for you as a brand partner coming to our company is it's really cool to do the work and get paid for it the following Friday. A previous compensation plan that we were working as our company was a monthly plan, and it had some weekly features to it, which was kind of cool. But the entirety of the plan, or the bulk commission, was monthly. And if you did something, so we're kind of still the beginning of July. I don't even know what today is. That's the 8th. So we're still early in July. If you had somebody enroll, or if you had somebody purchase product in your network, you would not likely get paid on that activity until the very following month, like the 20th of the following month. So that was kind of the pace at which you would see a return on your efforts in your organization. Here it's, hey, whatever happens this week, you're going to see the commission check from that the following Friday. It's pretty fast. It's really, really cool. So you get paid faster. Love it. Who doesn't love to get paid fast? All right. So we're going to go through, I know that this slide says 9 ways to get paid. I am not going to talk about 9 ways today. I'm going to talk about the first 7, if that's okay. We're not going to talk about business rewards or loyalty shopping on this call. However, we're going to talk about those first 7 ways that you can get paid. The first would be the upfront part of our plan. All right. And the very, very basic part of that is retail profits. Retail profits usually really are part of any compensation plan in our industry. It's usually the first thing that companies talk about when we talk about ways that you can get paid. I will say this about retail commissions. I think partnerCo has a really, really slick and very cool way to do retail commissions. Better than what I was experienced with the previous version of the comp plan. And I think it's really, really important to give full acknowledgement that retailing products is good for business. Like selling your products and making money off of that is good for business. And in a previous version of network marketing, I don't think we really gave a whole lot of emphasis behind that, because we found that a lot of our brand partners weren't really good at retailing their product, and it's kind of interesting. Sorry, I'm gonna this is a very basic conversation, and I'm probably gonna make it a little bit more complicated because I'm passionate about this idea of marking up products and selling them. Some people, when you get into, if you're not experienced in sales, get a little squeamish about going to their friends and saying, hey, I've got this amazing product. It's doing wonders for me. If you want to buy it, here's the price. And it's hard for us as brand new business builders to say, okay, I know what I'm paying for this product. Do I feel comfortable selling it to somebody marked up? And it's kind of interesting, and not a lot of people have the stomach to do that to their friends and their neighbors, and to ask them to pay a marked up retail commission or pricing. I want to just say this because, having seen this both sides, any store that you go into, any place that you go to shop, whether it's the grocery store, whether it's Lululemon, whether it's, I don't know what stores are popular in South Africa or whatever, people who own stores, they don't have this problem. They don't have this thought process going on of, do I feel okay selling at 100% markup to this customer walking through the door? They are happy to charge you the full marked up price. As a business builder, you should be happy to sell at a marked up price. We're not selling at 100% markup. We're just selling it at 30% markup. But that's the retail mindset that sometimes we miss out on when we're brand new to sales organizations and sales systems. So anyway, maybe that's belaboring the point, but I just want to give that nod that retailing your products is very important. Now, at partnerCo, you as a subscription when you're enrolled on subscription and you have your business ready to go, you get to buy at the very, very cheapest wholesale price. We encourage you to sell at least a 30% markup. Now, if you're selling it directly to a person, you can sell for whatever price you want. If you direct them to our website, we will have the pricing marked up 30%. And then if they buy from the website using your reference or referral code, we're going to take that price difference of 30% and we're going to send it back to you in your commission check the following week. Okay. Now, okay. So sorry, this is for this isn't American. I'm gonna just take shots at us Americans. This is an American slide. South Africans, I know you guys are way ahead of the game on this, so I'm gonna do simple American math for you real fast. If you have $100 product, you're marking it up 30%, you're making $30 on that marked up pricing. Okay, so that's kind of basic American math. We have to put that on a slide. I know you guys probably can do that math in your head and in your sleep and whatnot. However, what's cool about what I really love about how you can do retail sales using the app and sending out smart links, you can refer people to the website. They can pay the full 30% marked up price if you want. Everybody loves a deal. If you feel like you want to offer somebody a 15% discount on the product, you can send them a discount code with the smart links. And so you're always going to get 15 to 30% marked up retail profit back to you. And it works really, really cool. I love the way that we have engineered and innovated that retail system. Okay, that was probably way too much information spent on retail profit, but I don't know, I sometimes get passionate about certain parts of these things. Step 2 of upfront money is the first order bonus. Now, this is 100% unique to the Plan C compensation plan. This does not exist anywhere else. So only in Plan C do you have something called a first order bonus. What is the first order bonus? Basically, any first purchase of a new customer or a new brand partner, you will earn 35% back on that first order PV. Okay. So if it's 100 points, you're going to earn $35 back on that first order of that new brand partner or customer. It's actually very basic. That there's not a whole lot more to that conversation because that's pretty cut and dry. I will say this: one of the biggest question marks that not question marks, but questions that we get from our brand partners globally in Plan C markets is this: in order to make the first order bonus work, the rest of the upline on that first order gets paid their base commission on 50% of that PV. So if it's 100 PV order, you made $35. The rest of the upline, it's really only counting 50 PV to their base commission earnings. So it causes a little bit of confusion every once in a while, where somebody will look at it and say, hey, wait a second, I feel like the volume's off. Well, the volume was off because it was a first order bonus situation. So we reduce the PV going to the rest of the upline just on that one order. Okay, Anthony, how am I doing? Are they killing me in the chats? I'm just gonna check in real fast. Anthony's probably killing me in the chats. He's not even talking to me anymore. No, I'm just kidding, Anthony.
No, there's no questions popped up just yet.
No questions. We're doing okay. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna keep you on your toes, Anthony. I'm gonna just check in every couple of minutes and see how we're doing. All right, so retail profits, we talked new volume bonus. All right, let's get into some of the nitty-gritty of our compensation plan and how it works. And that is the base commissions. Base commissions ends up being one of those things that takes probably the most time to grasp for people, just based on either lack of experience in the industry. Maybe this is your first time in network marketing at all, or you were in another opportunity that wasn't a binary type comp plan. Usually takes a little bit of getting used to, but this is where most people need to take the most time to understand how the comp plan works. But the base commissions basically rewards you for building sales organizations. What does that mean? Well, if you sign up, you're activated, and you enroll 2 brand partners, you're off to the races, and you're starting your organization. You start to get paid on those brand partners. Well, if those brand partners start to expand and build a team, now you're starting to see an organization grow. Now, one of the questions that we get oftentimes is, well, how should I build an organization? Do I build wide? Do I build deep? The answer to that question is yes. The answer, there really isn't necessarily a one better than the other. If the way you like to build an organization is to build a little bit wider and have 3 to 5 people that are kind of frontline to you that you're checking in with and you're building through, great, build that way. If your style or your preference is to just have 2 people to work with because that's easier for you to manage, and then build deep underneath those people, great, that's the right answer for you. Our compensation plan, what makes it really, really unique is that it allows you to do either or both at the same time. So you can build infinitely wide and infinitely deep into your organization, which is really, really cool. Now, so it allows you to build to your preference. That's unique, and let me just kind of add to that comment and say that's unique to traditional binaries in the industry. Traditional binaries, and the term binary is a term that just it dictates that there's 2 lines. You can only build in 2 lines underneath you. Sometimes they call them legs, but 2 lines or legs is all you get. And one of them ends up being a runaway power line that just explodes and goes forever and ever. And then you're usually compensated on the other line of your business. And that's traditionally how binaries work. With our compensation plan, we really, it functions kind of like a binary, which I'll get to in a second, but it actually is more accurately described as a multi-line plan, because we will allow you to build more than just 2 lines. So it's very unique that way. And that's something that I think is pretty exciting to talk to people who are, maybe they didn't love the binary that they were with at a previous company. This offers something a little bit more unique. All right, so we talked about building deep and wide. So I'm going to do a couple of examples, and this starts to get into what we do every week when we calculate your check. So in a multi-line plan, every single week, the first thing that happens is when we start to calculate the commissions is our computer is programmed to go through your organization, all of your lines, and it's going to determine a relationship between those lines as who's going to be the power line and which ones are going to be the pain lines. And the example that I have on the screen is to illustrate how the computer thinks. So in this example, there's 3 lines. One line has 2,000, one line has 1,000, one line has 1,500. So the computer is going to say, okay, which individual line has the most PV? We're going to assign that line to be the power line this week. The other 2 lines, now, albeit if you added them together, they would add up to more than 2,000 points. We don't add those lines together to figure out who's power line and pay line. It's each line with relationship to each other. So the top line has the most volume, so we're going to designate that as the power line. The other lines are going to be pay lines for this particular week. Now, what's interesting about that to me is your relationship with all of your lines underneath you can fluctuate from week to week. One week, that top line might be your power line. The next week, it could shift, and it could be one of the other 2 lines could exceed or outgrow the current power line. And what's good about that, for me at least, is as an upline, you want to be working with all of your lines consistently. From what I've understood of other companies, when you have a massive power line, people tend to not focus on anybody in that power line. They tend to work on where they're, the pay line volume. That's where their attention goes. And so here we want you to work with everybody in your lines, because they're all helping build your income. And one week they may be the power line over here, and the other week it may shift to another part of your organization. So you want to have a healthy relationship and rapport with everybody in your organization. So I actually think that's a huge strength of the plan. All right, so quit talking, Dan, about all these things and tell me what's the money? How much money do I get for that activity? In a Plan C market, we pay out 10% base commission on the pay line volumes, all pay line volumes underneath you. So in this particular example, we have 2 pay lines. So you're going to get 10% on all that pay line volume. So add that together, it's 2,500 points. Math is easy for people in South Africa. 10% of 200 or 2,500 PV is $250 USD base commission. Okay. All right. Do another example. The next week, we have two. In this example, somebody's building only 2 lines. Okay. Power line, it's obvious. That's the 2,000 point line. Pay line is 1,000 points. Now, that's $100 base commission. Now, the point of this slide is not to show a more simple example. It's actually to just start to have that conversation of, sometimes people will ask us, well, wait a second, this kind of stinks. I had 2,000 points in one line and 1,000 points in the other. What happened to the other 1,000 points? Did I get paid on any of those points? Okay, great question. Did you get paid on them? Well, there's a difference in those points. So you got paid on 1,000 points. And what we're going to do is we're going to establish a carryover point amount to allow you to still have an opportunity to get paid on those other 1,000 points in an upcoming week. So we have a thing called carryover volume. Carryover volume basically just carries over the difference in your power line to the following week. Now in this example, so what we'll do is we'll take the pay line amount and we're going to subtract out whatever you got paid on from your pay lines, which basically zeroes them out. So next week, your pay line, whatever you got paid on, those pay lines go to 0 and you start building those back up. The power line, there could be carryover or there may not be based on how much you got paid out on your pay lines. But in this example, you carried over 1,000 points to the following week. And the following week, you're starting off Saturday morning at 1,000 points in that power line. Okay. We allow you to carry that volume over indefinitely as long as you maintain your qualification. If you fall off of qualification, then your your carryover volume could go away. All right, you could lose that. Let's see. I think I talked about those. All right, now you can build in your pay lines up to a certain limit, and that limit is $2,000 USD every single week. Now, if you do the math, if you reverse the math on that, $2,000 divided by 10% ends up being 20,000 PV. So in any given pay line for any given week, you get paid on up to 20,000 of the PV in that organization. Now, what happens if we were to just stop there, say, hey, that's all you're going to get? It would be a pretty boring and disinteresting compensation plan, to be honest with you. So capping your pay line would seem very limiting, right? Well, there's a couple of things that happen. Excuse me. Let's see. There are a couple of things that happen when you optimize, and this is the term that we use in our compensation plan called optimization. What happens when you optimize is we actually give you two gifts for achieving optimization. And those gifts are designed to help you to continue to earn commissions beyond that optimized line. All right. So the gifts that we give you, everybody likes a new gift. If you started off with only 2 lines that you were building into, we actually give you a 3rd line or a 4th line or a 5th line, or however wide you want to build. Every time you optimize the line, we're just going to add you another line to continue to allow you to build wide. So you get a new line. As you build that line, you get 10% volume on anything in that line, based on the fact that it's going to be a growing line for you and you have stronger lines up above you. So you're going to get 10% on all that volume that you're putting into that new line. You also, that's called building wide. We also give you a second gift, and that second gift is what we call a reentry. A reentry position is a new position for you, but it's not a new enrollment, but it's a new position that's tied to your account that goes underneath that pay line that you just optimized. So whichever pay line you optimized, you can put that reentry position in that organization. And with that reentry position, you can continue to build your organization. So you can enroll people and put them into that reentry position and keep growing deep, infinitely deep into your organization. Okay. Every time you optimize a reentry position, we get you another reentry position and another line going wide. So you can just continue to build infinitely wide and infinitely deep forever and ever and ever. Okay. All right. Anthony, quick check-in. Any base commission questions coming at me?
No questions as of yet. I don't see any in the chat.
All right. We're just going to keep cruising right along then. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. All right. The next conversation. Now, if you were on last week's training, the way the slide was designed was a little interesting for me. So I'm going to just clarify real quick. Auto balancing or clarify what we talked about last week, then also just explain it again for the first time if this is your first time seeing this presentation. Auto balancing is a conversation for what happens if you exceed your 20-point sales requirement in a Plan C market. So every 4 weeks you have to do 20 points. Well, what if you're an incredible salesperson and you're doing 200 points every single week? What's happening with that excess volume that you're bringing to the table for the company? Well, that volume is going to auto balance, what we call auto balance, into your organization. That auto balancing is going to basically what it's going to do for you. The computer's going to tell, the computer's going to do the math for you where it wants or feels like you're going to make the most return on that volume. That was kind of a bumbled way. Hold on, my son is interrupting me, so I'm trying to keep my train of thoughts. Here, get out. Just get out of here. I got a terrorist son who's coming in and just. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, so the excess volume is going to get auto balanced. Where does it auto balance? Wherever it's going to make you the most money. Now, my slide here is just to simply say, however many, based on your business level will determine how many lines you're able to work in your organization. The wider you are in your organization, the more you're going to essentially earn in auto balance volume, because there's more lines for it to auto balance into, which basically just increases the percentage. Auto balancing in the Plan C market works exactly the same as auto balancing in the Plan A market. There's no distinguished difference other than the fact that it caps out at 10%. Okay, so you have the ability to auto balance in any number of lines. The wider you are as far as building, the more lines you have available to you, probably the more you're going to make on that auto balancing. And that's the same in the Plan A market. Okay. But auto balancing is our answer for what happens with your volume that you purchase in excess of 20 points. and that's the return that you would essentially get on that auto balance fund. Okay. The other kind of high level version of why auto balancing is cool is every week you're qualifying for ranks and you're qualifying for titles and you're qualifying for bonuses and optimization and all those things. You have to do that every basically by every Friday night. You're closing out your qualification period. It gets to be a little bit nerve-wracking to have to look through all your organization and try to figure out every week, okay, where do I need to shore things up at? Where do I need to put this volume to make the most return on my buck? Well, guess what? The system will do that for you. It'll place that volume where it needs to go to help ensure that you achieve the most optimal place for optimization, for title advancements, for payout. And that's the design of auto balancing. All right, so that's base commissions. In our time left, we're going to talk a little bit about savings plan bonus, income position bonuses, and then quickly touch on matching bonus, and then we'll wrap up. Okay. I love the savings bonus. The savings bonus is so cool. What's unique about that? Savings to some people sounds pretty boring. In network marketing speak, it actually trends to be, I don't know. I think that there are companies that do crazier things with their distributors to try and prop them up and to position them as more successful than they probably are too early. Tell you the story of Visalis. Visalis is a company that if you've been in the industry for any period of time, like 10 plus years, you may have heard of Visalis. Weight loss company, really big in the late, like 2008, 2009, like the early 2000s when it kind of came about, exploded onto the scene. One of the things that they were famous for is they had a car bonus program for people to get a BMW. They wanted all their reps driving BMWs because that's the showy thing to do. That's the flashy thing to do in the industry. At least in the United States, it's kind of this status symbol to be riding around in a BMW. So at a very basic level, entry level position, I would call it, they were trying to get people into BMWs. I mean, it was exciting. It probably worked for a little bit. There was probably a lot of people that were like, man, I want to get into a BMW. And they went and did this certain amount of work, got themselves into a BMW situation. Well, the flashy side of that was really cool. The reality side of that was they were basically being signed up for a lease, and they were on the hook. The distributor was on the hook for the lease. The company wasn't leasing them the car. The company was basically just procuring a lease agreement with a dealership. Well, as long as you maintained your qualification, whatever that qualification was, the company would pay for that lease that you just took on. Well, in network marketing, sometimes you have months that kind of go up and they go down. And you have a lot of people who will overstretch themselves just to hit a rank so that they can get something, and they overextend their network, and the next month it comes back to kind of where the reality of their business was, which is probably ill-equipped to afford a BMW lease. Long story short, a lot of these people, these poor people that got put into these leases, ended up defaulting on them. And in fact, the company got into a lot of trouble. They were unable to keep that program going because no dealership in the United States would do a lease for one of their distributors. So it really blew up. It wasn't a very practical program. It was exciting. It was flashy. It wasn't extremely practical. The savings bonus I love because it just speaks to the wisdom and the intelligence behind financial management and personal financial management. The way the savings bonus works is we're going to dedicate a certain amount of the plan for people to sock away in a savings account, basically. And we're going to keep that money accumulating for you until it hits $10,000. $10,000 USD. When it hits that amount, then we're going to pay you out a cool $10,000 check, which is so freaking cool. this ends up being one of the most fun parts of our plan. When people hit the savings plan, they get a call from the CEO of the company, all the top executives, and we get on a call, and usually it's very emotional. It usually hits people right at that perfect time. There's just personal beautiful experiences that I've had that surround this savings bonus program. The way it works is any week that you exceed $250 in base pay, we're going to bank away for you 15% addition to your savings plan. So in the example over here to the right, I don't know if you can see my cursor, but over to the right, it says base commissions. If you earned, let's say you optimized this week and you got $2,000 USD, we're going to put an additional 15% towards your savings plan goal. Okay. So that ends up being $300. We will cap that every single week at a maximum of $500 a week. So it has a cap to it, but we will put $500 max per week towards your savings plan goal. And once you accumulate enough to hit $10,000, it cashes out and it pays you that $10,000 bonus in the next savings plan run. We pay out savings plan earnings every 4 weeks. So it ends up being a really, really cool thing to have some money saved up, and then you get a big chunk of money paid out to you in a deferred way to where it bolsters your check, and it really comes in really cool. So anyway, that's the savings plan. I love it. I love that it just from what it represents a more intelligent, more grounded way to build a smart business and something that's going to be around for multi-generations. Car bonuses, man, they're sexy for a minute and they just get people into trouble. So that's the savings plan. Now, after you achieve the savings plan, and I think this slide is incorrect. So it actually says, well, you will accumulate up to $500 a week. That actually is correct. It doesn't pay out every 4 weeks in Plan C. So every increment of $10,000, then it kicks out another $10,000 in Plan C markets. So I apologize. This slide needs to be updated for you. Okay, income position bonus. We have 2 global bonuses. What's great about global bonuses is you get to capitalize on the efforts of everyone globally. You become the biggest cheerleader for Italy. You become the biggest cheerleader for Japan, for the United States. Like, it's this way to bring synergy to everybody globally, because all of your efforts are going into this bonus pool, and that bonus pool helps. I mean, it's everybody pulling into it, and it just becomes a lot of fun that way. The income position bonus. So these bonuses have titles, and I'm going to kind of just correct the titles, because in my brain it works a little bit better to talk about them as the deep bonus and the wide bonus. The income position bonus is the deep bonus. That may not be the right way to talk about this, but it works for me and it works for my brain, so that's how I explain it. It ends up being 2% of global PV put into this bonus pool. To qualify for the income position bonus, you have to optimize. Optimize, just to review, is your power line and your pay line in a Plan C market have 20,000 PV in 1 week's time. Okay, so every time you optimize, you get entered into this bonus pool. The way the bonus pool works, well, okay, before I get to that, the way these bonus pools, both of them are set up, is to have exponential growth. You don't just earn for one optimization. Anytime you optimize additional income positions, you get more and more shares into the plan. So this nerdy slide is designed to show that if you optimize one IP or income position, you get 2 shares. If you optimize a second income position, you're going to get 4 shares plus your original 2 shares for your first income position, for a total of 6. If you optimize a third IP or income position, you get 6 shares. That gets added to the 4 plus the 2, so you get a total of 12 shares. And it just keeps that same design. Any additional income position that you optimize just continues to add more and more shares to the pool. Now, what does that end up looking like? The shares average anywhere from 200 to 225 bucks a week. So 2 shares get you about 400 bucks a week, which ends up being about 1,600 bucks a month. So it's a pretty decent size bonus in terms of network marketing. So it's a pretty cool bonus. Now it can be a lot more than that based on how many income positions you optimize. So the goal is to build deep and to continue to optimize those re-entry positions that you build into your organization. The pay line bonus works, it functions very similarly, except this is the width bonus or building wide. So you have a depth bonus and you have a width bonus. So each time you optimize a line going wide, you get entered into the pay line bonus or the width bonus. Now you've already achieved optimization for the other bonus with 2 lines. So getting into the pay line bonus requires you to have 3 lines optimized to you. Okay. And it's a similar concept that you just adds exponential growth to the bonus pool. So anytime you optimize an additional pay line outside of your original 2, you get 2 shares. You have another in each additional line that you optimize underneath you. Similar deal, you just get exponentially more shares underneath that. It's a bigger bonus pool, even though it's only 1% of global PV. There's fewer people in that bonus pool, so it usually ends up paying a little bit more. It anywhere from 225 to 250 bucks a week is what we're seeing it pay out, and it ends up being a pretty cool bonus. And those bonuses are weekly bonuses, so this is not like hey, you get paid 3 months down the road for your activity. This is next Friday, you're getting bonuses paid out. So this is all part of the weekly payout. Okay, the bonus pools are pretty cool. The kind of the creme de la creme for me with our bonus or with our comp plan is the matching bonus program. I think your long-term vision is this is where your money maker really is in our comp plan. It's dynamic, it pays out a lot of money. It ends up being really, really cool. Our biggest checks in our company today pay out more than 50% of their check in matching bonus. So this ends up being a large payout for the top checks of our company. And you will see as you build an organization that's duplicating or replicating your activity, you'll start to see that while the more and more people that are earning commissions underneath me, man, my check just keeps going up and up. The idea of a matching bonus, I love. Like it's always been something in the industry that people that just makes sense for people. It's a real easy concept to talk about. Hey, look, if they got paid X amount of money, you're going to match a certain percentage of that money into your own check. So that's kind of the idea. Getting paid a percentage of what people earn in their own base commissions. So the real question with match pay is, okay, what am I matching on and how much? So I need to answer those 2 questions for you. What are you matching on? The answer to that question is you're matching on base commissions. Okay, you're not matching on their bonus. You're not matching on their savings plan. You're not matching on the first order bonus even. You're matching on base commissions only. Okay, so what am I matching on? Base commissions. The second part of that question is, well, how much? Okay, well, to answer that, that's a little bit more involved of an answer, but let's go through that real fast. Now, we pay out through 7 generations of your organization. You'll match on 7 generations. Sorry, my brain just went somewhere else, but it's trying to stay on point. You get paid on 7 generations. There's compression in there, which is super cool. So if somebody drops out, stuff still comes back up to you and you get paid on it. Now, how do you get paid and what percentage on those generations in your organization? Well, if you become gold, which gold is unlocked for you in the Plan C market by virtue of hitting the ultimate title. So if you hit gold, you're going to get 3 guaranteed levels or generations of match pay for life. Those first 3 generations happen to pay out the highest percentages. And in a Plan C market, you can see off to the right that it's the first generation will be 7%, then it's 6%, and then 5% for those first 3 generations. The remaining generations underneath you, you can access into by virtue of how much or how big your organization is growing underneath you. And it's all based on how much you're earning in those generations, at least your 4th and 5th generation, as you shoot towards optimization. And to hit all 7 generations, you have to optimize 2 income positions, and that'll unlock all 7. Okay. But the percentages end up just descending in increments downward. So 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So let's do a quick example of how match pay works. So your generation one would be 3 people that you personally sponsor to the business, not placed underneath you by your upline, but you actually know these people. They're your contacts. You personally brought them to the table. You're going to get 7% on their base commission earnings. So if in our example, if you're 3 frontline people, they earned a total of $5,000 between the 3 of them, you're going to get 7% match on that, so $350. Generation 2, so these aren't people that you brought to the table, but the people that you did sign up are now duplicating and replicating your efforts, and they start to earn base commissions. Well, you're going to get 6% match on what they do. Generation 3 is 5. And you can kind of see as it goes down into the organization that you just keep getting paid, more and more people, even though the percentages end up descending and getting smaller by virtue of, exponential growth in a sales organization, your 7th generation ends up being pretty massive. So, the slides are just designed to show an example of what that could look like for you. So as your organization builds infinitely big, the more you're going to match and the bigger your check ultimately will be. Matching pay pays out weekly. So this is a weekly calculation because your base pay for all of these people is also done weekly. So it makes sense that the matching pay gets paid out weekly. And then there is compression, and the compression would work over people who are not gold or silver qualified. They would not occupy a spot in that generational calculation. So it would potentially bring more people beyond 7 generations into your match pay range. All right. That was a whole lot of me talking, and nobody asked a simple question.
We got a couple of them, Dan. So
okay, good. I thought I would confuse somebody by this point. Like I think I confused myself more than anything. I might have my own set of questions to go through. All right, go for it. What's going on,
so
Anthony?
one question is, how do you optimize a pay line? So pretty much the question was, how do you optimize a pay line?
How do you optimize a pay line? Okay, let me just reverse back to my slides real fast and we'll get to it. And I probably went a little faster this one right here. So optimizing a pay line would mean you have 2 lines underneath you with 20,000 points. So one of these would be your power line, correct? And one of them would be your pay line. You need 2 lines of at least 20,000 points to achieve what we call optimization. Okay.
All right. And the next question was, what is or are some of the main elements that make partnerCo voted the #1 compensation plan?
Great question. So I would say a couple of them would be, it's a unique plan that allows you to build um, infinitely deep and infinitely wide. Uh, it it ends up like compensation plans end up being a combination of a good paying percentage back to the people. So we pay up to 50% of sales volume, or excuse me, sorry, of revenue, not on volume, but 50% of revenue, which is unique to the industry. Um, some of the other features of it are, here's where I think it actually ends up being a really, really good plan. And one of the things that I don't think I touched on this in the presentation, but just from a philosophical standpoint, when you're a company trying to, if you're a brand new company and you're trying to decide kind of the culture of what you want to reward people for in your plan, there's a couple of different approaches in the industry. There's companies that will upfront a lot of the payout. So if they call it front loading the plan, where they put large percentages of the pay for recruiting. And so you're basically rewarding people for being outstanding recruiters. You have other philosophies where, hey, instead of putting it all up front, we're going to reward people for organization building. And they put it, I don't know what's the opposite of front loading, back loading, or I don't know, that's probably not the right term, but they put it at the other end of that spectrum where it's only reserved for the people who build incredibly large organizations. That's where the bulk money of the plan is. I would say with partnerCo, because of the base commissions, the way they're at, and with the optimization levels where they're at, and with matching pay, you end up seeing a very strong middle part of that spectrum. It's very strong there. Now, that's not to say that there's not upfront money and there's not large commissions to be able to be earned on the back end of the plan. I think the strength of the plan and what makes it great for most people is that it's really consistent at that middle range. So base commissions ends up being a pretty big deal for you. Your matching pay on people earning those things, it's very strong in the middle. And I think I wish I had kind of trying to describe that without a slide is kind of tricky, but just to say that, and I don't want to use the term middle class because that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that it's the people who have your people who are kind of crossing from just getting started to ultimate upper leadership positions. It's a very strong plan right there, and then it becomes lucrative towards the end. So I don't know. I mean, I've lived a life of comp plan bashing, and I've tried to get away from that. And later in my career, for the last few years, so I don't get into like comp plan bashing anymore. But I remember from that lifetime, there was always arguments of, do you put your money up front? Do you put your money at the back? Where does it end up? What's the better philosophy? And it's our philosophy, and you could have people that could show a stronger upfront part of their plan. Great, kind of just tip your hat to them. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. You have companies that will probably have really, really top end distributors making incredible checks on the back end, but not a lot of people up front getting started, or they're struggling their way to it. It's just it's a difference of philosophies, but I think it's a pretty evenly distributed plan from beginning to end. That was probably a lot longer of an answer than you bargained for, but that's my answer for it.
And I believe I see one more question. The question was just clarification. Like after you get your savings bonus, is it $300 that they can make a week, or can you clarify the savings?
So yeah, great question. So I kind of jumped through this really quick. Oh, I'm going back wrong direction. Sorry. Let me pull up the savings plan slide. So after you get paid the $10,000 bonus, basically every week, and this holds true before you get the 10,000 or after the 10,000. the most you can earn in savings plan earnings is up to $500 per week. It caps out at $500 USD per week. So that's the cap. And then, you know, after you hit the 10,000, then it keeps going up to $500 every week till the next time it distributes those monies. Okay. Any other questions? All right, you guys. Thank you so much for jumping on this call today. I do have some other things I have to jump into, so we're getting primed and ready to start calculating week 27 commissions. So I got to jump back into that. It really is. I really do enjoy doing these presentations. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to spend some time with you today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And shout out to Blessing for putting and organizing this together. I do really want to just edify Blessing real fast and the job that she's doing to try and to lead that market. She does a really good job. She bugs me all the time fighting for you on different commission related issues. So she really is your advocate in building that market and to being successful in that market individually. So huge shout out to your leadership team there in South Africa. They do a fantastic job. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for jumping on the call, and we will see you again soon. Anthony, thanks for running the chat too. Great job.
It's welcome.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Thanks, Nell. Thanks, Blessing.
Thanks everybody. Have a great day.
Have a great
Thanks,
day,
Dan.
everybody.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody, coming on.